All right, greetings. Um, Hope you're well. So today we want to look at quadratic function graphs. Okay, right. So as you can see, we are required to sketch the graph of f of x is equal to minus x squared plus 4x minus 3. And this is a quadratic function. All right, it's a quadratic function, which is in the standard form. um, ax squared plus bx plus c. Okay, yeah. So, the first step, which I'm gonna call step one, will be to find the shape before I even draw. Before I even draw. So the shape, I look at A. All right, this A here gives me the shape. And my A, as you can see, is going to be negative 1 because there's a negative 1 that is right there. So my A is negative 1. So what does that mean? If my A is negative 1, it means that my A is going to be less than 0. So that means it's going to be a concave down. That's the shape. It's going to be the concave down. So that's as far as the shape is concerned. So this I do before I even start sketching the graph. First, I find the shape, and then secondly, I'm going to find the axis of symmetry. The axis of symmetry. Okay. So for me to find the axis of symmetry, there are two methods that I can use. Okay, there are two methods that I can use. I can use completing the square. I can use completing the square. That's the method that I can use, or I can use this other method of x is equal to minus b over 2a. There's also another method that we can use. Yeah. Um, yeah, there's also another method that we're gonna use that if we want to, we can use. Let me just add another method. X is equal to the sum of x-intercepts. Yeah, so this is gonna be it's gonna be the bonus method that I'm gonna share, all right? That I'm going to teach you in this lesson. Hmm. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with the completing the square. So when you complete the square, of which I'm not going to do because I don't want to take much time. So if you complete the square, this is what you're gonna get. Y is equal to negative x minus 2 squared plus 1. So this is what you're going to get after completing the square, right? Okay. So the axis of symmetry, we get it when we take this x minus 2, the x minus 2, and then we say is equal to 0. And I take this negative 2 to the other side. Therefore, my axis of symmetry is gonna be x is equal to 2, right? Yes, and this also happens to be my turning point. the x value of the turning point. That's the x value of the turning point as well. This x is equals to 2. That's going to be my x value of the turning point. And then this one right here is my y value. Okay, let me write x here, which is, so I said x is equals to 2. The 2 is my x value of the turning point, and then this y is going to be my y value of the turning point. All right, that's why I like completing this way. It just gives me the axis of symmetry, and it also gives me the x value of the turning point, and it also gives me the y value of the turning point. All right, now let's use the x is equal to minus b over 2a and see if you're gonna get the same answer. Okay, so I said a is -1, right? B is 4, and then c is equal to -3. So in this case, I just need b and a. So minus, so b is 4. So here I'm then gonna put 4 over 2 times a. What is a? A is -1. So here then gonna put -1. All right. So this becomes, you can see that it's actually going to become 2. If I simplify that, it's going to give me 2. So x is going to be equal to 2. So this x is equal to 2 is my x value of the turning point. So for me to find my y value of the turning point, I'll then need to sub in this x is equals to 2 into the original equation. Y is equals to minus x squared plus 4x minus 3. All right, and then I substitute. Substitute. Let's just go ahead and substitute um, and see if we're gonna get the y value, which is 1. That's what we wanna see. So y here is equals to -2 squared plus 4 times 2 minus 3. Okay, then y is going to be equal to -4 plus 8 minus 3. And if you use your board mass, the order of operation, you realize you're going to get 1. You see? The same one that I just got here when I completed the square. So completing the square, some students say it's faster. Some students say it's kind of tricky. Sometimes you can get it wrong. Well, if you feel like you're not really good with completing this way, you can go ahead and use this formula. X is equals to minus b over 2a, and find your x coordinate of the turning point, and then you substitute your x coordinate into the original equation to find your y. So I now have my turning point. I now have my turning point, which is 2 and 1. So these are my coordinates of the turning point. I've used two formulas there. Let me see if I can use the third formula if I'm gonna get the same. All right, so let's use x is equal to sum of the x-intercepts, and then you divide by 2. So this only happens after finding your two x-intercepts. So I would allow you to find your x-intercept. So always remember, when you're finding your x-intercepts, y is equal to 0. And then if you're finding your y-intercept, x is equal to 0. Okay, so my x-intercepts and my x-intercept and y-intercept, I need to find my x-intercept because here you can see I need the sum of the two x-intercepts. So let me just erase here so that I can create space and create some space. All right, so all I need is the two x-intercepts. So let me just do a rough calculation here. So x-intercept y is equal to 0. Okay, so where there's y, I'm going to put 0 into the original equation, right? So it's gonna be 0 is equal to minus x squared plus 4x minus 3. All right, so this is what I'm gonna have after substituting 0. So therefore, x squared minus 4x plus 3 is gonna be equal to 0. Okay, and then factorize. So here, obviously, I'm gonna have x minus 1, and then there I'm gonna have x minus 3. Yeah. So you can see my x-intercepts, this one is gonna be x is equals to 1 or x is equal to 3. So these are the x-intercepts that I just needed. Then now I'm applying this formula that x is equal to sum of the x-intercept divided by 2. So sum means to add. So I'm just going to say 1 plus 3 divided by 2, which is going to be 4 right there. Then divided by 2, which is going to be 2. So that's my x. You see, I still got 2. I still got 2. All right, then I substitute my x value into the original equation to find my y coordinate of the turning point. So this is my x value of the turning point, which is x equals to 2. And of course, like I said, you then submit into the original equation to find your y value of the turning point. All right, so I've used three formulas here, and they all gave me the same answer. They all gave me the same answer. So that's basically what you then need before you you sketch your um graph. So already I have my x-intercept. Then yeah, we are good to go. Then obviously you need to find your y-intercept as well. And then after finding your y-intercept, your x-intercept, and you've got step 2 and step 3 in place, then you're good to go. You are able to draw your quadratic graph. So yeah, this is basically how you go about it um, when you are drawing the graph of a quadratic function. All right, cheers. Bye-bye.